Hi everyone. This is my first video response to a discussion prompt, and this is for number 3, which is can democracy be achieved for bicultural parents in the educational system? I think it's first important to determine what democracy looks like in terms of a parent in the educational system. This isn't something that I've really thought about before prior to the readings and answering this discussion. So to me, this would be an environment in which parents or their guardians are fully encouraged and welcomed into the school environment. It looks like their opinions are welcomed and that they celebrate along with the school's accomplishments and with everything that happens in the school environment. So the phrase, "it takes a village," comes to my mind because schools and families really form this partnership that benefits the education of all students. I think it's also important to recognize that in order for democracy to be achieved, the results of this school and family partnership would benefit everyone involved and also benefit the surrounding community. So almost like if you put something good in, you're going to get something good out. We all know that academic success is strongly tied to parental involvement, but bicultural students and their families are historically at a disadvantage. This is shown in statistics ranging from just grades in classes, graduation rates, post-secondary education, success in college. A lot of research and statistics show that bicultural students are not achieving similarly to their counterparts. This is not to say that it's all related to parental involvement, but knowing how important it is certainly something to talk about. The lack of parental involvement in bicultural families is likely not ill-intentioned at all. Chris Peels, in one of the readings this week, discusses the idea that immigrant families have a genuine interest in their child's education, but can face a mismatch between their expectations and the expectations of the school. So in other words, a parent might really believe that they are being fully involved in their child's education, but if that doesn't line up with what the teacher thinks is appropriate involvement, there's a cultural divide there and a miscommunication. On top of all the cultural differences, a lot of bicultural parents work multiple jobs or are busy caring for other family members. Personally, I think this is the case for a lot of my students and their families. They are working multiple jobs, trying to provide for their families, and so being involved in school might not be at the top of their priority list, and that's okay. Another obstacle for me personally is the language barrier. I'm fluent in Spanish, so I am always contacting home for my Spanish-speaking students, but about half of my students speak a language other than Spanish, and I don't have any resources available to communicate with them. So even if it's for a good reason, it makes it especially difficult to establish that relationship with the parent and even get them semi-involved in the school community. Regardless of all the obstacles, I definitely think that democracy is possible for bicultural parents and families, but a lot of work is going to have to go into it, and a lot is going to change because I don't think we're anywhere close now. I believe that true democracy in education will happen when we, as a whole society, focus on how to make education more accessible for bicultural families. When we figure out how to provide the same access for all students, that's when democracy can happen. Like I mentioned before, I don't think we're anywhere close to that right now, but I do think it's possible. One of the ways for bicultural parents to be involved and get involved and have more of a voice is to be involved with the political decisions at the local community level. Pearl, in chapter 6 of the textbook, discusses that by being involved in the community and advocating for their students and advocating for themselves is a really great way to understand how democracy works. He also says that we need to find ways to help parents understand the importance of democracy So, understanding it not just for themselves, not just for their children, but also how beneficial it is to the community and the society when everybody has an equal voice. So I do think it's possible. I really do. It's easy to feel helpless and feel like we can't do anything as teachers, but I think we're moving in the right direction, and it really takes those families to be involved at the ground level before anything changes higher up. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts this week, and everybody have a great weekend.